Hey guys, what's going on? Drewzy here, coming at you with another video for the channel. And in today's video we're going back to Smite, and in today's video we're also doing an update to a previous video that I did earlier on the channel, which was a Cernunnos build. But primarily we're going to look at a damage build for Cernunnos, which will work in a multitude of different game modes. Probably not the best for Conquest, but I think in every other game mode it is a very viable build. I like it a lot for Arena. I think it would work well in Clash. I think it could work well in Assault, in a couple of different game modes. But primarily we're going to discuss the build, discuss the items, and the reason why we're using them. And one of the main reasons why a lot of these items are being used was because in the most recent update in 4.15, there was a lot of nice balance changes, primarily for the Hunter class. The Hunter got a lot of love in this last console update, and that could be subject to change here in the future, but here currently within the game, especially for console, they got some really nice buffs. Some of the buffs were that the power increased, that the lifesteal increased, or that the cost reduced. And a lot of the items that I'm using in this build, almost every single item actually got a buff of some kind. So I'm going to explain why I think that they will work better. And there are some replacement items. Are these the best items? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that they work really well, especially with Cernunnos, which is the main god that you're going to be seeing the gameplay footage in the background. Bloodforge had a slight decrease in cost by 50 gold. Executioner got 5 more physical power. Deathbringer got 200 lowered on the gold cost of the item, and Poison Star got a 5% increase to crit chance, and Deathbane with a debuff of 150 gold for cost. So why do some of these items work best for others? I really liked the update to Poison Star. I think the +5 critical chance on paper may not be mind-blowing, and Poison Star is kind of a hit-and-miss item within the game. But if you guys didn't really look into the early part of Season 4, Poison Star and Wind Demon were items that were added in Season 4, and they got a lot of love. The double Shuriken build was a big thing for hunters early on in this game. They weakened Poison Star and they weakened Wind Demon some. Wind Demon has changed a little bit in a few updates post then to make it slightly better. Poison Star got some nice love with that crit chance increase. I think that Poison Star and Wind Demon are back. I think double Shuriken is a real thing again, and I use it in this build. I think it can be worked in a lot of builds for a lot of different hunters. Deathbringer getting a nice 150 gold less isn't mind-blowingly different. The item itself is the exact same, it's just a lower cost. So I mean, is it a huge difference? No, but the cost is nice. Also in Arena, a nice update that came in this patch is that the amount of gold you get increased as well. I believe it's 2 gold more than what it was before, which doesn't seem like a mind-blowing difference, but I have been noticing in my Arena gameplay that I have been able to get way more expensive items much quicker, especially if I get a couple of kills. So I really like the update that they made to Arena, especially because that's the game mode I play a lot. But all the other game modes, as far as I know, none got any really dramatic changes. But some of the items are mainly the main thing that we're discussing. So as you notice in the gameplay footage, I went with attack speed boots with Cernunnos, and the main reason why I went with attack speed boots, I think they are a better overall item because you get more mana, you get more attack speed, and you get a little bit of buff to damage. But of course most people with Cernunnos go with the damage boots. The damage boots is still very, very good. You're going to get a lot of attack speed with this build if you're rolling the double shurikens. So I mean, you can sub out the attack speed boots. I would suggest doing the attack speed boots at least early on in the match. You can then switch to damage boots midway to late game in any game mode. But I really like attack speed boots. I think it's an undervalued item for Cernunnos especially. You can go, again, either way with the boots. That's completely up to you. But Executioner is a must-have for this build to be successful. You need Executioner still. And the nice little buff to physical power, I think, really makes it a lot stronger. I think it actually makes it, at times, better than King Sai. Even though if you have gods with way more health, King Sai is still a better item. But Executioner really is going to help you take out those squishier gods much, much quicker. Bloodforge is still a phenomenal item, still needs to be the primary lifesteal item for everything again but Conquest, but it's by no means a necessity. I think in some of the other game modes like Clash, possibly, you know, you can't use it in Assault, but in most other objective-based modes, you could probably go with Transcendence or Devour's Gauntlet over Bloodforge, but I think Bloodforge is a very, very solid item that needs to be used in an Arena build. I then like to go Wind Demon, probably for the 4th item, or as quickly so as possible. Then go for Poison Star very quickly, because Wind Demon is a little bit more expensive. It's probably better to get early game. Plus, it's going to give you a nice little movement speed buff as one of its passive items that can be extremely useful. Poison Star, again, very, very great. I would highly suggest getting the Poison Star as well. After you get your double shuriken combo, Deathbringer is the way to go, because Deathbringer is going to increase the amount of crit damage that you're going to be doing. So with the amount of crit chance that you now have with the two shuriken items, and then now with Deathbringer, you're going to be pumping out a lot of crit damage, and your crit chance is going to be pretty high. I believe it's at 60% with all three of these items, which is extremely good, and it's going to help you that about every 2 to 3 hits you're going to be critting. And there's at times I've been noticing with the amount of attack speed that I have with the attack speed boots and with executioners that I'm critting usually 2 out of every 4 or 5 hits. And it's just really, really nice. I'm pumping out a ton and ton of damage with Cernunnos, and he is a very strong god to begin with. He's had some debuffs, but he's still very, very strong. He hasn't had any adjustment changes since the build guide that I made the last time. So as far as the god himself, Cernunnos is still the same god, but some of the items that I suggest to use in the build have changed, and that's why I'm making this video. And then the last item would be Titan's Bane to finish off the build. Titan's Bane is so, so good. And as you notice in the gameplay footage, I'm just able to pump out a ton of damage with this build. Is this the best Cernunnos build? No. There are better Cernunnos builds. Depending on the game mode, items are going to be subject to change. This is just the build primarily for Arena, or for some of the other lower, you could use this in Assault. I think it should be a solid build for Assault. I think it could work in Clash. I think it could work in Joust, and I think it could work in a few other game modes as well. But in Conquest, definitely would rather have Devourer's Gauntlet. I would probably suggest going with Transcendence if you're playing Conquest. But pretty much in anything else, all 6 of the items that I've mentioned, I think are the best items right now for Cernunnos, just because of some of the changes that have been made, and especially with the fact that with an Arena you're getting more gold. You're just going to be able to have a stronger kit and be way stronger and do way more damage. So some of you may disagree with the build guide that I'm suggesting here. Please let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this build. Do you think it's a good build? Do you think it's a stupid build? Let me know which one you're leaning towards. I think these are all solid items. I think they'll work very, very well right now within the current meta. But again, I'm by no means a true expert. I do play Hunter the most, and I'm really excited that they gave my favorite class some solid love in this last update, and hopefully that comes out with more here in the future. So again, let me know how you feel in the comment section below of this build guide, or if you want to suggest other builds. I will probably update some other builds. I've been playing Poseidon a lot, been having a lot of success with him, and I've tweaked his build just a little bit from the previous Poseidon build, so I may update that build as well here in the future. But until next time, my name's Drewzy. Peace out, everybody.